Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Thursday, February 8th, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my college basketball bank shot best bet, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Thursday in college hoops. First up, we see Delaware and Towson. This one's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time, the second meeting of two between these two teams in the regular season series. And in the first meeting, it was all Towson. It was an 11-point win on the road. Obviously, now Towson playing at home here. Delaware is playing with revenge, but Towson in that first game, when you look at the numbers, Delaware actually outshot Towson from both 2-point and 3-point range by 4% from both 2-point and 3-point range. Yet Towson still wins that game on the road by 11 points. That's really concerning for me for Delaware's chances in this game because, Towson was just so dominant in the fundamentals in that one. They had a 15-4 offensive rebound advantage. They had 26 trips to the free throw line compared to only 21 for Delaware, and they forced 6 more turnovers in that one, 14-8. And of those 14 forced turnovers, 9 of those were steals. So it wasn't just like Delaware was traveling or throw the ball out of bounds. It was forced turnovers from Towson's really good defense. And I think Towson plays a pretty similar style in this game. And at home, I like their chances. I'm going to take Towson and lay the points. I think they get the season series sweep. Next up, we see UT Rio Grande Valley taking on Stephen F. Austin. This one's 7:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. This is another game where we see the second meeting of the season series. In the first matchup, we saw the Lumberjacks of SFA win that game by 7 points on the road. 85-78 was the final score. I think SFA wins this game in blowout fashion at home. This is a really good home team, and neither of these teams are in great form. UT Rio Grande Valley's lost 5 straight. SFA's lost 3 of 4, but I think the Lumberjacks have played really tough teams recently. Grand Canyon, Cal Baptist, and Tarleton. The last game was on the road, while UT Rio Grande Valley just struggled in general in conference play and just overall this season. 6-16 record, 2-9 in conference play. Fundamentally, I think one of the big advantages that Stephen F. Austin has in this game is on the offensive glass. And I think that, in the first meeting between these two, UT Rio Grande Valley was competitive on the offensive glass. They had 17 offensive rebounds, but overall this season, it's not a great rebounding team. So I don't think that's going to be the case in meeting number 2. I think SFA has a big advantage in terms of second chance opportunities and second chance points. Both of these teams turned the ball over quite a bit and forced a good amount of turnovers, so it's probably going to be a pretty sloppy game. But I think SFA, both these teams do a great job of getting to the free throw line, but the Lumberjacks are a much better free throw shooting team. I trust their offense and defense a lot more in this spot, and at home, I got to like their chances to get the season series sweep as well. I'm going to go with SFA and lay the points at home. Next up, we see Arizona and Utah. This one's going to be a 8 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on the Pac-12 network. Utah's been one of the best home teams in college basketball, and this team has not lost a single home game this season. They lost 2 neutral site games in non-conference play to Houston and St. John's, and then in conference play, they've lost to Arizona State, Arizona, Stanford, Washington State, and Washington, but all 5 of those games were on the road, and now they host Arizona. Arizona, another team that's been super strong at home, not so much on the road. We've seen them lose outright at Oregon State, at Washington State, at Stanford. Not great teams, especially Oregon State. Those were pretty bad upset losses. We also saw them lose a semi-road game against Purdue by 8 points. They lost in double overtime at a neutral site against FAU. So Arizona, while it looks like they're unstoppable at home, they are beatable on the road. And I think Utah, a very, very strong defensive team. They force a lot of tough shots. They're a good defensive rebounding team. They have a superstar in Carlson. They have what it takes, I think, to potentially earn another upset victory in this one. If not, at least cover the number. Getting a few points at home should be a great game. But I just think that Utah home court advantage, playing with revenge, too much for Arizona here. Give me Utah in this one. Next up, we see Tarleton State and Utah Valley. This one 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Now, personally, I'm not buying what Tarleton State is selling. I don't think that this is a serious contender in the WAC this year. I think this conference is still wide open, even though Grand Canyon is the pretty heavy favorite to win the conference tournament. But Tarleton, right now, they're 8-3 in conference play, 15-7 overall. It looks like a great record on paper, but when you look at the efficiency numbers, when you look at the shooting percentages, you look at the fact that Tarleton's not a very good defensive rebounding team. They've turned the ball over way too much. They take a lot of fouls. They don't really get to the free throw line much themselves. I don't like the fundamentals for Tarleton, and even the shot quality numbers are not great for this team. You put them on the road against a fundamentally sound Utah Valley team. It takes care of the defensive glass, forces turnovers. That's really important against Tarleton, more so on the defensive glass. the Tarleton Texans are a really good offensive rebounding team. So Utah Valley's got to be able to hold them to one shot per possession. I think they will. Utah Valley's done so all season. So I think this is a good matchup for Utah Valley playing at home. They've yet to play Tarleton State this season. I think they take the first meeting. These teams are going to rematch the final game of the regular season, or excuse me, one of the final games of the regular season on March 7th. And that might be a different story in Tarleton. They have a really nice home court advantage, but on the road, I don't love their chances. Give me Utah Valley in this one. I'm going to lay the points. The final game we're going to talk about for the Thursday card in college basketball, it's going to be Florida Atlantic and UAB. This one, 9 p.m. Eastern, is going to be on ESPN2. Another game where we see the second meeting of the season series. In the first matchup, FAU won that game by 13 points, 86-73 the final. And to me, while UAB's playing with revenge and they're playing at home, and you could argue playing their best basketball of the season, I don't think their defense does enough in this game to keep up. Their offense is pretty solid. They're a good rebounding team. Their shooting numbers aren't the best, but they're still an efficient offense. But the defense is where I have my biggest concerns. And FAU, in that first game against UAB, they scored 86 points while shooting just 29%, 29.6% from three. The offense was, scoring sustainable buckets in the paint. Golden was 8 of 10 from 2-point range in that ballgame, and that's what really concerns me because FAU is a very good three-point shooting team. If their three-pointers fall at that 35 to 40% clip that we're used to seeing, this could get really ugly because I just don't think UAB has the answers for, two halves of a 40-minute game. I think this is going to be, maybe a game where we see it's close early on, and I think FAU pulls away in the end. This is a team that's not going to be intimidated on the road. They played in a tough non-conference schedule. Obviously, the NCAA tournament run, they're a very experienced team. I think they have what it takes to win this game and cover the number in the end. So give me FAU. I'm going to lay the points on the road to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.